Breathe in gently and breathe out softly as your eyes slowly close. Let this night become a gentle journey. A journey where your mind floats like a drifting cloud sliding slowly across the sky, in tender light, in breaths thin as silk. And in the deepest place of that quiet peace, I want to tell you a story. A story not for you to analyze, not for you to memorize, but simply for you to hear with a heart that is softening, with a breath becoming as light as a flower petal. A story about a person, about a philosopher, about a soul who walked through the darkness and the light of the world. A story about Albert Camus. But don't worry, this is not a philosophy lesson, not heavy knowledge. Everything is simply warm water, flowing gently through you, guiding your mind into a sky of stillness. Imagine this. You are standing on an empty beach in the late afternoon. The sky tinged with gold, the sea coated in silver, and the wind brushing your skin like the hand of the coming night. In that place, a young man is walking slowly on the sand, walking without hurry, without worry, without rush, as if each step he takes is in harmony with the breathing of the universe. That is Camus. In his youth, Camus was not a philosopher, not a famous writer. He was just a slender, simple Algerian boy with a heart wider than the sea, and eyes filled with a gentle sorrow that no one could quite name. Your breath softens, your mind drifts with the footsteps in the sand. Camus grew up in poverty. His father died early. His mother, quiet and hard of hearing, lived in small, silent habits. But it was that silence that taught Camus how to listen to the world, not with his ears, but with his heart. A subtle lesson, like the sound of waves gently kissing the shore. You walk with Camus. The night waves grow steady, rhythmic like an ancient lullaby. The wind carries the taste of salt, the sky opens endlessly, and on the horizon, the light fades like a tender candle. Camus loved the sea. To him, the sea was like truth vast, mute, immense, never answering the questions of humankind. But that very silence teaches us to breathe lighter and accept more. Breathe in deeply, exhale softly. Camus carried tuberculosis from his teenage years, a disease that made every breath precious. But instead of fearing life, it brought him closer to it. Like someone who knows each second may be the last, so he lives as if each moment is both the first and the final one. And I want you to feel that right now. This breath, this moment, this night, all of it is unique and worthy of your complete peace. Camus spoke of the absurd, but don't worry. Tonight, the absurd is not frightening. It is simply the moment when you stand before the ocean of life. Ask a question, and the ocean responds with silence. Not refusal, not denial, just silence. A soft, embracing, expansive silence, like the night sky now surrounding you. Camus said the absurd is not the world, nor humanity, but the moment the two meet and fail to understand each other. Like when you ask, "What is my purpose?" and no answer falls. But in that silence, Camus discovered something tender. If the universe does not give you an answer, you can write one for yourself. And so can you. No matter how tiring today was, no matter how many questions remain unanswered, tonight you have permission to set everything down, like placing a heavy stone out of your hand, leaving only breath and the gentleness of a mind slowing down, lighter, softer. Now I want to tell you another story. A story Camus cherished, the story of Sisyphus. In the myth Sisyphus is condemned to push a stone up a mountain. Every time he reaches the top, the stone rolls down, and he begins again. An endless cycle. But it's all right. Tonight, this story isn't here to tire your mind. I will tell it in the rhythm of your breath. Light, soft, calm. Imagine Sisyphus on a windless night, when the stone is resting and the moon hangs above the mountain like a sleepy light. In that moment, there is no punishment, no despair, only a human being who knows himself clearly and still chooses to walk. Camus said Sisyphus becomes free in the moment he walks down the mountain, resting, between cycles of eternal labour, because he knows exactly what awaits him, and still chooses to continue. Just like you have gone through long days, pressures, repeating cycles, but tonight, you are, in your walk down the mountain, the moment of rest, of release, of not needing to do anything at all. Just breathing, letting your body melt into the soft surface beneath you. When Camus spoke of rebellion, he didn't mean anger or violence. He meant a rebellion of the heart, a rebellion to live gently, a rebellion to stay tender in a world that tries to harden you. A rebellion that whispers, I deserve peace. Tonight, your breath is also a rebellion. A tender and beautiful rebellion. Because in a world full of noise, you choose silence. In a world full of tension, you choose rest. In a world full of demands, you choose to let go. That is freedom. A freedom as soft as the blanket of night draping over you. And within that freedom, you drift, lighter, deeper, as if sinking into an endless ocean of light. Now, let this voice become slower, softer, thin, like your settling breath. You are lying in a vast night. Above you, the stars shimmer like softened thoughts, no longer sharp, no longer tiring. Each star is like a small memory from today, drifting away, fading, lightening, like a silk scarf falling through the air. You hear the distant waves, the soft breeze, your heartbeat slowing. Everything guides you toward a tender sanctuary, where you no longer need to try. Camus once said, in the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. Tonight, I want to turn that sentence into a lullaby for you. Within your fatigue, within your burdens, within the thoughts you haven't yet resolved, there is still a small, warm light waiting for you to return. And you are returning to it with every slow breath, every softening of the body, every moment you allow yourself to rest. Breathe in, so softly. Breathe out, so gently. Your breath now has grown much lighter than when you began, as if each breath were a small door opening, guiding you into a wider peace, a deeper calm, a stiller quiet. And in that quiet place, the story of Camus, of the sea, of the night's light, continues to flow, like a warm stream sliding tenderly across your skin. Imagine this, the moon hanging high in the sky, its light so gentle it seems made of milk. Along the long stretch of sand, Camus continues walking. Each step slow, creating no sound except the soft sinking of sand beneath his feet. He is not hurrying, not heading toward a destination, not searching for anything. He simply walks like a natural current, like a wave arriving at the shore and then retreating again. And you are the same. Your mind is walking invisible steps along the path of the night, a path meant only for relaxation and peace. No destination to reach, no task to complete. only soft moments unfolding before you. Camus remembers his childhood, a childhood without many words, without much laughter, filled with quiet habits and the dry, blazing light of Algeria. But to him, that poverty was not darkness. It was the place where light became even brighter. He remembers the afternoons, when the sun spilled down onto the small rooftops, and the sea breeze drifted through the window of the fragile room where he lived with his mother and grandmother. He remembers the silence, thick like a blanket. A silence not lonely, but tender, heavy with love. Just like the silence surrounding you now, a silence that is not empty. It is full, full of light, full of breath, full of life moving slowly inside you. You may notice the darkness around you becoming warmer. Not the cold, hollow kind, but darkness like a thick coat, wrapping you and keeping you from the fatigue of the day. Camus faced many shadows: war, illness, the questions of life's meaninglessness. But strangely, he never allowed the darkness to swallow the light inside him. He accepted the darkness. He walked through it. And he found an inner light, a light no one could take away. Tonight, that light is inside you as well. A small, warm glow, so gentle that you may only feel it when you breathe very softly, but it is there. It lies in your chest, in your breath, in every slow release of your body as you drift deeper into rest. In the sky, the stars tonight are not only sparkling, they seem to be moving slowly, floating along the invisible waves of the evening air. Camus lifts his gaze to that sky, and he feels as small as a grain of sand on the beach. But the strange thing is that smallness does not frighten him. It makes him feel relieved, as if he no longer has to carry the whole world. As if the universe was saying, you do not need to understand everything. You only need to be here. You only need to breathe. And you, too. Tonight, you do not have to carry anything. All burdens lie outside the door of sleep. No more tasks to finish. No worries that must be solved now. No sounds demanding your attention. Only the stars, those tiny points of light cradling you with their sweet, silent lullaby. Remember Sisyphus, the moment he walks down the mountain to begin his task again? Camus says that is the moment he is most free, because he is aware of what he does. He accepts it. And in that acceptance, he becomes stronger than the punishment itself. Tonight, you too are walking down the mountain. You are in the moment of release, of freedom, of knowing you have done enough for today. You do not need to push any stone. Do not need to continue any cycle. Do not need to force yourself to be strong. You only need to walk down the mountain into the soft valley of sleep where everything becomes gentler, lighter, falling from your shoulders like old leaves. Now, feel each part of your body slowing down, your legs becoming heavy and warm, your arms dropping as if melting into the surface beneath you, your shoulders settling lower, light as if letting go of the weight you carried all day. Your breath steady and soft like the distant waves. The whole world seems to shift into a deeper rhythm, a quieter flow, a more restful pace. And you are drifting along that rhythm, very slowly, very lightly, very deeply. Camus once wrote, "In the midst of winter's suffering, I found within me an invincible summer." Tonight, in the midst of your day's exhaustion, that summer is opening within you, a summer not loud, not blazing, but a summer of peace. It is like a small garden, hidden deep in your mind, where the wind blows as softly as a whisper, where the leaves fall slowly like dreams, where time almost stops. You are stepping into that garden, in silence, in gentleness, in complete surrender. Your breath has become slow waves, opening and closing, like the doors of sleep. And each breath makes you light as dust of light, light as soft fragments of memory, light as the dream forming around you. You no longer feel the need to fight anything. No need to resist. No need to force. No need to oppose the thoughts in your mind. Everything is dissolving into the soft darkness of the night. And you simply drift. Drift into a deep, quiet water, warm, gentle, utterly safe. Breathe in slowly and breathe out gently. Now, let your body relax just a little more. Each word drifting by feels like a breeze touching your skin, tender, warm, unhurried. Everything is guiding you toward a sleep that is deep, wholesome, peaceful. You continue walking on the silk-soft path. The path before you still stretches ahead, but with every step it becomes softer, gentler. You feel as if the moment you place your foot down, the ground rises to meet you, holding you, cradling you with ease. There is no rush here. Nothing moves quickly. Everything moves at the pace of serenity. In the sky, the stars are still shining quietly. They are not too bright, not dazzling. They simply exist, as if wanting to say, you are not alone. You have never been alone. The wind blows very softly. So softly you cannot hear it, only feel it brushing through your hair, drifting across your shoulders, then fading into the stillness of the night. Inside you, a calm begins to spread. Each breath you take is like a small boat leaving the busy shore of life behind. It carries you farther and farther into the vast ocean of quiet. Breathe in, breathe out, with every exhale. You let go of a bit more heaviness. Let go of things that no longer need to be carried. Let go of worries, the invisible noises that clung to you throughout the long day. You do not need them in this moment. Here, there is only softness, only the gentle whisper of night, only the deep presence of your own being. You see a river of light. Ahead of you, soft as a ribbon of silver, a river is flowing. Not made of water, but of light, soft, warm, shimmering like the breath of the moon. You walk closer, just standing near the edge. You can feel the tender energy of it brushing against you. And then you step in. The river is not cold. It touches you like a gentle hand, so gentle that you nearly want to sink into it at once, to let it hold every tired part of you. Light drifts along your body, weaving into each muscle, into the spaces between your breaths. It makes you feel clearly, I am being healed. The sound of the universe lulls you towards sleep. The river has no sound of flowing water. Instead, you hear a very soft, very distant, very delicate tone. It feels like the hum of the universe round, deep, infinite. It is not music, and yet it soothes you more than any song ever could. Your body begins to slip into that half-awake, half-asleep state, where every movement slows, where every thought dissolves like mist in the early sun. You let yourself float along the river. No need to paddle. No need to try. No need to do anything at all. You simply release and let the river of light carry you. You see the moon drifting on the surface. Tonight the moon is gentle. It shines right above you but does not sting your eyes. Its light is so soft that just looking at it makes your eyelids feel heavy, ready to close. And yet you keep them open just lightly so you can watch its reflection gliding across the river of light. The moon moves with each tiny wave, waves so subtle they resemble the sleeping breath of the universe. You feel lulled. Everything, the light, the sky, the river whispers to you, it is time to rest. You drift into a forest of peace. When the river brings you to the far shore, you find yourself stepping into a forest. But this is not the forest you've known. The trees here glow softly from within, as if every leaf is radiating warm, gentle, pure light. The wind stirs the leaves with a sound so faint, like someone whispering beside your ear. Sleep, rest, you walk through the forest. Slowly, one step at a time. No rush, no thought, no worry. Each step sends a soft ripple into the air, drawing you deeper into relaxation. Your body becomes light as a cloud. Your mind becomes wide as the sky. Nothing pulls you back. Nothing tries to disturb you anymore. You stop beneath a great tree. In the center of the forest stands an ancient tree. Its trunk is large and warm, like the embrace of a gentle friend. Light from the falling leaves rains down like golden drops, covering you in a tender warmth. You lean your back against the tree. Your body relaxes instantly. Almost immediately, you feel you could fall asleep right here. But before your eyes close, the forest begins to sing. Not a song with words. Just sounds soft as silk, leaves brushing against each other, wind threading through branches, the heartbeat of the earth. They blend into an ancient lullaby, a song the universe has used since the beginning of time to cradle tired souls. You hear it. You feel it. You let it wrap around you like a warm blanket, and you begin to sink, slowly, so slowly, gently, so gently, like a flower petal drifting down onto still water. You are leaning against the warm trunk of the ancient tree. The space around you is completely still, but it is not an empty silence. It is a silence that is full, full as if the entire universe has sat down beside you, placed a gentle hand on your shoulder, and whispered, "You are safe now." Your breath slows even more. Your heartbeat follows the rhythm of the forest. Everything is so gentle that you can no longer tell where your body ends and the air begins, where breath becomes wind, where the forest becomes you. Everything melts together, soft, light, calm, and drifting. Light falls like warm raindrops. From the high canopy above, tiny specks of light begin to fall. They are not bright, not harsh, not enough to wake you instead. They fall like warm raindrops, touching your shoulders, your back, your hair. Every drop of light is another release. One drop carries away fatigue. One drop carries away worry. One drop carries away the noise of the long day. Another carries away the fragmented thoughts you no longer need to hold. Everything dissolves like smoke into the night air. What remains is only warmth, stillness, and the peace spreading inside you. You close your eyes. You no longer need to keep them open. Everything you need to feel is already being felt in a deeper, more delicate way. When your eyes close, darkness wraps gently around you. But it isn't a frightening darkness. It is a darkness soft as velvet, warm as breath, safe as an embrace from behind. In that darkness, you feel something strange, You are not falling. You are not drifting away. You are simply floating, so light that it feels as if you no longer carry any weight at all, as if your entire body has turned into mist. The tree begins to breathe with you, leaning against the trunk. You can feel its rhythm clearly. Each breath you take matches its breath. When you inhale, the whole forest inhales gently, deeply, evenly. When you exhale, the whole forest exhales, slow, long, soft. It feels as though the earth beneath you, the tree behind you, the wind around you, and the sky above you are all guiding you into sleep by breathing alongside you. You no longer need to try to relax. Relaxation is happening on its own. Naturally, completely. The forest's whisper, the sound of the wind moving through the leaves, now resembles a whisper. It is faint, but you understand it, as if it speaks a language your heart has always known. You have travelled far enough. Tonight, you are allowed to rest. Let us hold your worries for you. You only need to breathe and drift into sleep. The whisper does not rush. It repeats itself, steadily, slowly, soft rhythm after soft rhythm, guiding your mind into the deep, gentle place of sleep. And then you feel yourself drifting, not drifting fast, not drifting far, just a movement as light as drifting to sleep on a small boat anchored in the middle of a still lake. Your whole body lifts a little, sinks a little, sways slowly, softly, lightly. The rhythm is like a lullaby, and you realize the forest is lulling you to sleep, not with words, not with music, but with tiny, steady motions. You let yourself drift. No thoughts. No need to know where you're going, because you can feel that wherever you go, it is a place that is safe, gentle, meant entirely for you. You open your eyes within a dream. You are not sure whether you've fallen asleep or are simply floating in a soft, dreamy haze. But you open your eyes. And now the forest is gone. You are standing in a valley as wide as the sky, covered in soft grass, with golden moonlight spread across the ground like a shimmering blanket. There is no sound, no wind, only perfect stillness. You step forward into the valley. The grass beneath your feet is so soft that you cannot even hear your own footsteps. Each step releases a small ripple of light, like tiny moon dust rising and fading. Above, countless stars shine not coldly, but warmly, gently. Their glow makes your eyelids want to close again. A large stone appears before you, but it is not rough like stones in the waking world. This stone is smooth, round, warm, as if it has sat here for thousands of years, waiting only for you. You sit down. It supports you perfectly, comfortably, softly, in a way that makes you never want to leave. From this stone, you can see the entire sky. Every star seems to lean closer, as if wanting to watch over you, wanting to keep you company in this quiet, peaceful moment. You feel the stillness descending from the sky, flowing into you, settling your soul like a lake without a single ripple. Your breath becomes so light it feels as though you could breathe with moonlight alone. And now you are ready to sink even deeper. Your body is completely soft. Your mind is completely calm. Your heartbeat is steady and light like an ancient lullaby. You are no longer holding anything. No more effort, no more tension, no more needing to be strong. There is only release, surrender, and depth. Only you, with the night, with your breath, with the deepest peace inside you. You are leaning against the warm trunk of the ancient tree. The space around you is completely still, but it is not an empty silence. It is a silence that is full as if the entire universe has sat down beside you, placed a gentle hand on your shoulder, and whispered, "You are safe now." Your breath slows even more. Your heartbeat follows the rhythm of the forest. Everything is so gentle that you can no longer tell where your body ends and the air begins, where breath becomes wind, where the forest becomes you. Everything melts together, soft, light, calm, and drifting. Light falls like warm raindrops from the high canopy above. Tiny specks of light begin to fall. They are not bright, not harsh, not enough to wake you instead. They fall like warm raindrops, touching your shoulders, your back, your hair. Every drop of light is another release. One drop carries away fatigue. One drop carries away worry. One drop carries away the noise of the long day. Another carries away the fragmented thoughts you no longer need to hold. Everything dissolves like smoke into the night air. What remains is only warmth, stillness, and the peace spreading inside you. You close your eyes. You no longer need to keep them open. Everything you need to feel is already being felt in a deeper, more delicate way. When your eyes close, darkness wraps gently around you. But it isn't a frightening darkness. It is a darkness soft as velvet, warm as breath, safe as an embrace from behind. In that darkness, you feel something strange. You are not falling. You are not drifting away. You are simply floating, so light that it feels as if you no longer carry any weight at all, as if your entire body has turned into mist. The tree begins to breathe with you, leaning against the trunk. You can feel its rhythm clearly. Each breath you take matches its breath. When you inhale, the whole forest inhales, gently, deeply, evenly. When you exhale, the whole forest exhales, slow, long, soft. It feels as though the earth beneath you, the tree behind you, the wind around you, and the sky above you are all guiding you into sleep by breathing alongside you. You no longer need to try to relax. Relaxation is happening on its own. Naturally, completely. The forests whisper. The sound of the wind moving through the leaves now resembles a whisper. It is faint, but you understand it, as if it speaks a language your heart has always known. You have travelled far enough. Tonight, you are allowed to rest. Let us hold your worries for you. You only need to breathe and drift into sleep. The whisper does not rush. It repeats itself, steadily, slowly, soft rhythm after soft rhythm, guiding your mind into the deep, gentle place of sleep. And then you feel yourself drifting, not drifting fast, not drifting far, just a movement as light as drifting to sleep on a small boat anchored in the middle of a still lake. Your whole body lifts a little, sinks a little, sways slowly, softly, lightly. The rhythm is like a lullaby. And you realize the forest is lulling you to sleep, not with words, not with music, but with tiny, steady motions. You let yourself drift. No thoughts. No need to know where you're going. Because you can feel that wherever you go, it is a place that is safe, gentle, meant entirely for you. You open your eyes within a dream. You are not sure whether you've fallen asleep or are simply floating in a soft, dreamy haze. But you open your eyes, and now the forest is gone. You are standing in a valley as wide as the sky, covered in soft grass, with golden moonlight spread across the ground like a shimmering blanket. There is no sound, no wind, only perfect stillness. You step forward into the valley. The grass beneath your feet is so soft that you cannot even hear your own footsteps. Each step releases a small ripple of light, like tiny moon dust rising and fading. Above, countless stars shine not coldly, but warmly, gently. Their glow makes your eyelids want to close again. A large stone appears before you, but it is not rough like stones in the waking world. This stone is smooth, round, warm as if it has sat here for thousands of years waiting only for you. You sit down. It supports you perfectly, comfortably, softly, in a way that makes you never want to leave. From this stone, you can see the entire sky. Every star seems to lean closer, as if wanting to watch over you, wanting to keep you company in this quiet, peaceful moment. You feel the stillness descending from the sky, flowing into you, settling your soul like a lake without a single ripple. Your breath becomes so light it feels as though you could breathe with moonlight alone. And now you are ready to sink even deeper. Your body is completely soft. Your mind is completely calm. Your heartbeat is steady and light like an ancient lullaby. You are no longer holding anything. No more effort. No more tension. No more needing to be strong. There is only release, surrender, and depth. Only you, with the night, with your breath, with the deepest peace inside you. You are still sitting on the warm stone in the quiet valley. The night sky stretches above you like a black silk sheet covered in stars. There is no sound. There is no urgency. There is nothing trying to pull you back to the busy world outside. There is only absolute stillness, a stillness that makes you feel as though you are resting in the lap of the sky itself. Inhale, exhale, your breathing is lighter than ever. With each inhale, the sky seems to brighten a little. With each exhale, the ground beneath you grows softer, gentler, holding you more closely. You no longer feel as though you are sitting. You feel as if you are floating in a layer of warm air, lifted by an endless gentleness. Moonlight spreads down like a silver river. From above, moonlight begins to spill downward, soft as mist. It falls onto your shoulders. Your hair then dissolves into tiny glowing particles that wrap around your entire body. You cannot hear the sound of moonlight, but you can feel its softness. It soothes you. It strokes you. It melts the very last threads of tension inside you, dissolving them like salt in warm water. You slowly close your eyes. And in that instant, it feels as though the whole sky is gradually gathering you into its arms. You sink into a deeper layer of peace, not quite sleep, not quite dreaming, but a place between the two, a place where only gentleness exists. In that space, you hear distant sounds, thin whispers of wind, the breath of the earth, the quiet, steady rhythm of your heart. They blend together into a wordless lullaby, full and soft, like a mother's arms holding you to her chest. Your body sinks deeper, lighter, softer. With each passing second, you descend a little more into the warm water of tranquility. A new path opens beneath you. You do not need to stand. You do not need to walk. The path appears slowly, like mist forming shapes in the dark. A path made of shimmering light, light that is not bright, only gentle enough to see, gentle enough to guide you deeper into sleep. You drift along the path. So softly, so slowly. Not with your feet, but with your floating self. With each stretch you drift through, sleep moves closer to you. With each stretch, your eyes grow heavier, your body grows softer, your mind grows quieter. Suddenly, you hear a rhythm. The rhythm is not clear. It is like a faint tapping into the palm of a distant hand far away. Steady, familiar. You do not remember where you've heard it before, but it comforts you. As the rhythm moves closer, you realize it is your own heartbeat, but bigger, deeper, rounder, as though blended with the heartbeat of the universe. Thump, thump, not fast, not slow. Just steady enough to make you want to surrender to it. And you let the heartbeat guide you. You enter a dome of light. The light is not bright like day. It glows like candlelight, spreading gently, warm and dim, dissolving into mist. Inside the dome is a space as soft as breath. The air feels like a thin blanket. Everything here holds the color of peaceful sleep. You move into it without hesitation. This place is not unfamiliar. It feels like a room that has been waiting for you for a very long time. As you enter, the dome of light closes softly behind you, forming a perfect circle of safety around you. No disturbance can enter. Only warmth remains. Only complete stillness. You lie down on a layer of soft cloud. A white cloud forms beneath you. It is so light you cannot understand how it carries you. But it carries you, and it holds you, as if you have belonged to it forever. When you lie down, the cloud adjusts itself immediately, embracing every curve of your body, holding you in a perfect position, a position that lets your entire body surrender. No part of you is tense. No muscle has to hold anything. There is only absolute softness. You exhale a long, slow breath, and that breath tells you that you have entered a deeper region of sleep. Sleep is very near now. Your mind is no longer clear. It becomes light as mist, dissolving, spreading out into the space around you. Your thoughts drift like dry leaves on a slow river. You do not cling to them. They arrive, and then they fade. And in the empty space between those thoughts, sleep enters. Not knocking, not announcing itself, it comes like a thin breeze, warm, gentle, sweet, soft, as though sleep has been sitting beside you all along, waiting for this moment to lean down and whisper, "It's all right now. Go to sleep. You are ready to drift into sleep. Your body is soft as cotton. Your breathing is slow as the night wind. Your mind is calm as a still lake. You do not need to do anything more. Simply let sleep come. And it is coming, slowly, quietly, tenderly, like a door opening right before you. You only need to walk through. Or rather, you only need to let yourself drift through. You are still lying on that soft, white cloud. It lifts you with infinite gentleness, as if the entire sky has become a bed made just for you. Every movement of the cloud is as light as the sleeping breath of a child. You almost cannot feel it drifting, and yet that barely noticeable motion pulls your mind deeper and deeper. Your breath is now so slow it feels like only a thin breeze going in and out. It feels as though you are breathing with light, with air, with peace. Small streams of light begin drifting around you. They look like the fireflies of the universe. Tiny, smooth, round, soft. They float around you in gentle curves, never rushed, never abrupt. Each time one glides past, you feel a little wave of relaxation spreading outward, as if it's erasing yet another layer of tension from your body. One speck touches your hand. Another sweeps across your cheek. One pauses right at your forehead, then dissolves into a warm mist of light. All of them carry a tiny message. Extremely soft. Extremely quiet. You are okay. You are safe. You are resting. You hear a sound as soft as silk. Not music. Not wind. Not a human voice. It sounds like the voice of sleep itself. A faint vibration. A gentle hum. A deep, round rhythm so soothing that you want to melt into it instantly. This sound doesn't come from any single place. It comes from everywhere, and also from inside you, as if your body and the space around you are blending together, vibrating in the same rhythm, the rhythm of peaceful sleep. You begin to dream without knowing whether you've fallen asleep yet. A soft image opens like a veil of mist parting to reveal another world. You find yourself standing in a field that stretches into infinity. The grass is soft and bright like silver silk. Each gentle breeze makes the entire field ripple like quiet waves. The sky here is not black. It is a deep blue mixed with violet, smooth like velvet, sprinkled with pale golden specks like moonlit dust. There is no direction, no destination, no goal. You simply exist there, and that is completely enough. You walk, leaving no footprints behind. The grass beneath your feet is so soft you cannot feel any contact. No sound, no weight. You move as if floating, like a weightless soul, as if you are made from the very light covering the field. With each step, tiny specks of light rise around your ankles, then fade like delicate dew flowers. Nothing is hurried. Nothing needs thinking. There is only peace flowing from every side, filling every corner of your mind. In the distance, you see a low hill. But this hill is not dark. It is covered in a gentle golden glow from the sky, making it look like a giant pillow inviting you closer. And you move toward it. Not fast. Not slow. Just a natural motion, as though your body knows that this place is the deepest layer of sleep you are seeking. As you reach the foot of the hill, a warm breeze sweeps across you, brushing your back like a soft embrace. The wind whispers, "Come, rest." You climb the hill without feeling tired. Every step grows lighter than the last. No weight. No heaviness in your body. No small pockets of tension you sometimes forget are there. Everything dissolves into nothingness. At the top of the hill, you find a flat, round patch of ground smooth as the surface of a still lake. And at the center is a pool of soft light, like the gentlest part of a giant blanket, glowing faintly. It doesn't call you. It doesn't pull you. It simply exists. But you know it is meant for you. You step into that pool of light. The moment your foot touches it, your whole body is wrapped in absolute tenderness. As if you are sinking into warm water, soft and holding you from all sides. Your breath slows so much it feels like you are no longer breathing but being breathed for, by the light surrounding you. Your eyes begin to close again, but this time deeper, heavier, softer. You drift into a very gentle darkness. Not a frightening darkness, not an empty, cold void. It is a darkness like a warm hand cupping lightly over your eyes, protective, comforting. A darkness of deep sleep, a darkness of complete peace. A darkness without voices, without thoughts, without memories, only rest. You melt into it, no longer knowing where you end and where the light or shadows begin. Only one thing remains. You are sleeping. And you are sleeping very, very deeply. And then, in that quiet space, you feel a very small shift, as if time itself is gently tilting. Nothing is rushed. Nothing startles you. It is only a very light, very soft, very natural change, like the way a tiny star appears on the horizon and you almost can't tell the exact moment it begins to shine. You are still sitting there, on the peaceful rock, beside the misty river of the night. And Camus, with his calm posture, his slow and steady breathing, still watches the drifting water as though he is listening to the voice of silence itself. He does not speak right away, but in that silence, you can feel that the story is still continuing, gently guiding you deeper into sleep, into thought, into the softness of a mind that is settling little by little. A light breeze passes by, carrying the faint scent of wild grass. The sound of the wind feels like an invisible hand softly brushing your shoulder, making your body loosen, soften, as if released just a little more. Camus tilts his head and asks with a voice as soft as footsteps on grass, "Do you know, the most beautiful thing about existence is sometimes not the answer, but the simple journey we quietly walk through." He does not require a response. He simply lets the question float in the air, light as breath. You look at the river below. The water continues to flow, without noise. And you realize that the surface is reflecting the night sky, a deep, velvet sky with thousands of stars, each one breathing its own slow rhythm. Everything is so peaceful that you do not need to try to relax. Relaxation finds you on its own, wrapping around you like a gentle blanket. Camus continues, his voice low and warm. In the absurdity of life, we are not required to find an absolute answer. Learning to live gently with ourselves is already enough. You close your eyes for a moment, letting those words sink in like raindrops falling into the earth. Everything inside you seems to settle. Even the smallest tensions, the tiniest scattered thoughts, melt away like morning mist under sunlight. He tells a story you feel you have heard somewhere before, but when his voice speaks it, the story becomes soft like silk. Long ago, there was a man who often felt that life had become too heavy. Every morning, he woke with the feeling that he was carrying an invisible stone on his shoulders, something unseen yet so heavy it exhausted him. One night, in his deepest weariness, he walked under a sky full of stars, just like we are now. And he realized, perhaps that stone did not come from life itself, but from the expectations he had placed upon life. Camus' voice quiets, like a small stream. And only when he set that stone down did he discover that life was not simple, but no longer frightening. You open your eyes. The sky is still bright with countless tiny stars. The sound of water below flows steadily, soft as breathing. And you feel that you, too, are setting down a small part of your own heaviness. No forcing, no effort. It simply leaves you like dust lifted away by the wind. Camus slowly rises. He does not hurry. Every movement is unhurried, as if the night itself is gently lifting him up. He extends a hand, inviting you to walk along the river bank. And you stand, feeling your legs so light, so free. As though you are stepping on a path woven from night mist. The two of you walk side by side. Neither of you speaks immediately. The silence becomes a third companion, gentle and full of comfort. Then he says, as if sharing a secret, life does not ask us to win every battle. It only asks that we do not turn away from ourselves. You feel that sentence sink in, deep, very deep into your mind. A slow-moving shooting star drifts across the sky, so slow you can see each tiny shift in its glide. Like a bedtime blessing from the universe. Camus smiles softly. You know, a person does not need to understand everything in order to live a whole life. He pauses, pointing toward the water. The river does not ask why it must flow. The wind does not ask why it must blow. The stars do not ask why they must shine. So why must humans demand a perfect answer for every question? You look into the water, and for the first time in a very long while, you feel that perhaps, just perhaps, you don't need to hold everything so tightly. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to strain yourself over things outside your reach. You only need to loosen a little, to breathe softly, to allow yourself peace. Realizing this, your body truly relaxes. Your shoulders grow lighter. Your chest softens. Your breath becomes naturally deeper and longer. Camus continues, his voice rhythmic like waves. You do not need to outrun anyone. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to walk, step by step, but steps that belong to you. You take another step, and it feels exactly right. No pressure. No rush. Each step is like the gentle sway of sleep. Very light, very soft, very deep. Camus lifts his gaze to the sky. Do you see? Existence is not cold. It is quiet. Quiet so we can hear ourselves. A tender breeze drifts by, brushing your hair, and you understand that tonight you are moving through a moment your mind will remember far longer than you expect. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is kind, because it is soothing, because it allows you to breathe in the gentlest way. You and Camus keep walking, moving deeper along the river, and the story still stretches long ahead of you. The two of you keep walking, step by step, so gently, so evenly, as if the ground beneath your feet is softening just to welcome your presence. Each rhythm of your steps creates a small wave of calm, spreading from your body into the space around you. No heaviness remains. No noise intrudes. There is only the wind brushing over the river's surface and the whisper of the deep night. The night grows larger, and you in this moment also grow larger, as if you are slowly merging with the entire space before you. Camus walks beside you, his hand lightly gliding across the soft grasses sprouting near the riverbank. Each blade bows a little when he touches it, as though it too is listening to the story that has not yet been told. You know, Camus murmurs, when a person is too tired, what they need is not advice, but a space to breathe. He turns to look at you, his eyes gentle like moonlight. Tonight, that space belongs to you. You say nothing. You simply breathe a long, deep, slow breath, and you realize it feels like the first real breath you've taken back after many days. A breath with weight. A breath with meaning. A breath that releases. Camus smiles softly. Yes, he says, sometimes just breathing is enough. The two of you walk on. The river begins to widen. as though you are approaching a place that is somehow more sacred. Starlight reflects on the water's surface like thousands of tiny oil lamps floating gently. You hear the sound of water brushing the shore, not strong, not hurried, but soft, like a hand quietly touching your heart to soothe it. Slowly, Camus begins another story. Once, he says, I met a woman who believed her life was too absurd. She ran away from everything, because she thought that if something did not have absolute meaning, then it had no meaning at all. Camus pauses for a few seconds, as if giving the words time to dissolve into the wind. But then, he continues, she realized that even in moments without answers, she still smiled when she saw wildflowers bloom. She still felt tears rise when she heard birds sing. She still remembered the warmth of an embrace. His voice softens to almost a whisper, and she understood that if a person can still feel beauty, then that alone is meaning. You let that story flow into you, very slowly, like water threading into the smallest cracks of the mind. It does not try to convince you of anything. It simply exists, quiet, gentle, and perfectly timed. A light breeze drifts across the river, making the water tremble into small, widening rings. Do you see? Camus gestures softly. The water does not try to be beautiful, but when the wind touches it, beauty appears. He turns to you again. People are the same. You don't need to force yourself to be strong, or wise, or perfect. Just allow life to touch you, and the beauty within you will appear on its own. You blink slowly. A part of you begins sinking deeper into relaxation, as though an invisible hand is lifting you above the worries you carried throughout the day. Your heartbeat slows. Your breath steadies. Your whole body softens. A small thought drifts through your mind. I'm truly at peace. You don't even finish the thought when Camus speaks again, as though he has read it from your expression. The night always knows how to hold the souls that are tired. He looks up at the sky. And you've walked a long road. You deserve this peace. You don't answer. You don't need to. Everything is already enough. The night ahead grows deeper, but not frightening. It feels like a soft universe, a place where you can let yourself fall and not worry about falling at all. You begin to hear your heartbeat clearly, but it isn't loud. It is steady, slow, like a lullaby. Camus continues walking, his voice drifting through the dark like warm water. We cannot change the absurdity of the world, but we can choose to live with it more gently. He looks at you, his eyes glowing faintly like stars. Just like tonight. You take another step. The earth beneath you feels like silk. The sky above you feels wide as wings. And you are letting pieces of heaviness fall away, light as petals carried by the wind. Camus raises his hand and points toward the distance. Here, he says, is the part of the river I wanted to bring you to. In front of you is a wide stretch of water, smooth like a gigantic mirror. The starlight is spread across it, making it look like a liquid sky. You stand still. No need to speak. No need to think. No need to try. Just stand and let the beauty of stillness pour into you. Do you feel it? Camus asks, softly as breath. You nod. And he smiles, as though he already knew. That is reconciliation. He says, between you and the world, between you and yourself. You inhale, cool air, and exhale. Everything that is left from the long day. and you feel yourself sinking into an even deeper layer of peace, a layer one can only reach when the mind has truly softened. Camus steps closer to the water and sits down. He gestures for you to sit beside him. You sit, and the ground here is incredibly soft, as though this place was created solely for rest. "We will stay here for a while," Camus says. His voice feels like a warm blanket draped around your shoulders. A place where no one needs to answer anything at all. Moonlight spills across the surface of the water. Wind moves lightly through the grass. And the night embraces you. You sit down beside Camus, right at the edge of the water. The ground beneath you is soft, as if covered in a thick, smooth, warm layer of moss. A feeling of safety spreads from the very place where you sit, as though the night earth is holding you, gently, patiently, tenderly. Camus rests his hands on his knees, his gaze drifting toward the still water, smooth as the sky's mirror. He doesn't speak right away, but the silence is not empty. It feels like a different kind of language, one you don't need to understand, yet can feel with your whole body. The wind brushes past, in soft waves like the rhythms of a lullaby. Leaves on the branches tremble a little, making a faint rustling sound, like the forest whispering secrets. A few small ripples roll across the water's surface and disappear, leaving no trace. Time seems to have stopped. You breathe slowly, deeply, and you feel your breath becoming very soft, very light, as if it too is blending into this quiet air. Then, Camus speaks softly. The night has its own way of healing people. His voice is low, warm, almost dissolving into the sound of the water. In the daytime, we have so much to do. We must answer so many questions. We must play so many roles. But when night comes, he closes his eyes, gently. We only need to be ourselves. You listen to his words and feel them drifting into you so lightly, like mist seeping into the earth. No sound, no effort, just quietly sinking in. Camus continues. People often believe strength comes from resisting, but sometimes true strength comes from allowing yourself to let go. A small ripple touches the tip of your shoe, cold yet gentle. It makes you open your eyes a little, gazing at the water flowing so slowly. Suddenly, Camus begins to share. When I was young, I used to sit by a river like this. I thought I had to find all the meanings of the world, that if I just thought long enough, I would discover the answer. He smiles a smile full of experience and softness. But eventually I realized life doesn't demand that we understand everything. It only asks that we be present. If we truly live, truly feel, that is enough. You feel that sentence spreading all the way down to your feet, then rising up toward your chest, making your heart lighter. A moment passes. Then Camus speaks again, almost whispering, "Have you noticed, when we stop desperately searching for meaning, meaning begins to appear naturally? You lower your head to look at the water at the exact moment a yellow leaf falls from a branch above you. It touches the surface and begins drifting with the slow current. Camus watches that leaf. Sometimes the meaning of existence is as light as that leaf. No effort, no struggle, just simply floating along with the current." He tilts his head slightly, looking at you. You don't always have to swim against the flow to prove anything. He speaks very slowly. As long as you keep moving, that is enough. You exhale a long gentle breath. And in that breath, you feel yourself releasing a little more of the worries you have been carrying. The night sky above seems to hear your exhale and responds by glowing just a bit brighter. The stars feel closer, as if bending down toward you with affection. Camus lowers his hand and picks up a small pebble beside him. He tosses it into the water, but so softly that it creates only a tiny ring on the surface. He points at those ripples. You see, even a very small stone still creates circles that spread. He turns to you. You are the same. No matter how small you think you are, you still create effects you may not even realize. You watch the ripples, then look at your own hand. And you understand, not with logic, but with intuition, the way one understands a song without needing lyrics. Camus goes on, his voice even warmer now. And when you feel exhausted, the night will shelter you. He places his hand gently over his chest. The night reminds us that no one has to be strong forever. No one has to stay awake forever. No one has to hold themselves together endlessly. He inhales deeply, then exhales slowly. The night is the time we are allowed to be weak, allowed to rest, allowed to let go. You hear him, and inside you, a quiet space opens, a peaceful space you haven't allowed yourself to have for a very long time. A soft, warm, weightless feeling spreads over you, like an invisible blanket being draped around your body. Camus looks out toward the far distance where the river meets the horizon, glowing faintly with moonlight. Do you know what the most beautiful thing in human rebellion is? He asks. You tilt your head toward him. Camus smiles. That even when the world offers no absolute answers, humans still continue to live, continue to love, continue to hope, and continue to find beauty. He looks at you, deeply. And that is the meaning. You hear those words, and suddenly your eyelids grow heavy, very softly, very gradually, as if sleep itself is walking toward you with silent footsteps. Camus notices it. He speaks gently, like someone reciting a lullaby. Let the night hold you. Let the water lull you. Let the wind soften your mind. Let your soul rest. He gives a faint, tender smile, like the first star of the evening. You're not here to carry more. You're here to be light. You close your eyes. Just a little. Enough for the softness to spread through every fingertip, every joint, every tiny cell. Camus adds, his voice now only a wisp of air. Let yourself drift. The night will carry you farther still, to a place even more peaceful. You listen, and you let yourself sink, deeper, lighter.